I don't think I've ever designed a garden without a space for outdoor entertaining. But in these social distancing days, a room outside needs to be used 365 days a year. Basically, there are 4 essential things you need for entertaining outside. You need cover in case it rains, which in this country can be quite often. You need some heat for those long, dark evenings. You need some light. And most important of all, you need some atmosphere. I really like to have great connectivity between the kitchen and the outdoor entertaining space. It just makes life so much easier because you're always going in and out to get things. This space is actually north facing, which you might think very strange to have a north facing space as your main eating outdoor space. But because the roof's quite low, for most of the summer months we get a lot of sunshine from breakfast to early supper. And in the evenings, you haven't got sun anyway. So I think connectivity, unless you've got a bespoke outdoor kitchen, is #1 point of view. When you've only got a tiny outdoor space, it makes it even the more valuable, even the more enjoyable. So you really need to milk that space. So you've got somewhere just to go out, get some fresh air, have a glass of wine and just relax. You're always so much more relaxed outside compared to inside. This first floor flat above my offices had no outdoor entertaining space. It was just a lovely stone staircase with the railings which we put up going to the main door. So we just made this mini decking area. We put in 2 extra posts, a couple of beams to make it sound, and then we put the decking on and we carried on the handrail design all around with the slightly chamfered top, so the actual pails look much lighter than the normal rectangular section that you see. It's just a space that I know is going to get so much use. It's only small, it's in the shade quite a lot, but with lighting and a bit of heat, maybe electric heater, it's a sort of space you could potentially use all the year round, especially if you put an umbrella up there. The lovely plant beside me here is the datura. It's a variegated datura, otherwise known as angel's trumpets. This is a variety called Sunset, and if you fall asleep underneath the flowers, apparently you can get hallucinogenic dreams, so be careful. Cover is vitally important, and one of the simplest methods I use, it's pretty inexpensive and I think looks pretty good, is this. I've just got the clear corrugated PVC sheets like this. I've got the heather, which is this, the heather rolls, and I've got it top and bottom. So whether you're looking at this structure from the top or the bottom, all you see is a lovely heather top. Now, you might think this doesn't last very long, but I've had jobs where we've had this in place for 30 years, would you believe? We have replaced the heather on the top because obviously that gets quite a bit of wind and rain, but they still look pretty good and they still work. They really do keep the rain out, and you fix it on with the screws. You'll either have metal tapping screws or you have the ones for the timber. You need to lay it to a slight fall and it will just shed the water off one side. We don't bother with gutters or anything sophisticated like that. But the advantage is that it's very light. So you can fix it to a structure like the metal pergola I've got behind. I would just put simple metal struts across and put this on top. Or if I have a timber structure, I put simple timber beams across it, maybe 300 centres or something like that. And then I just fix this on top of it. And the lightweight means you don't have to have a massively heavy structure, but you just have the waterproof top. If you want to put a beam along the front so you don't see the sandwich, that's easy to do, but I don't think it looks too bad. Now, of course, you could use a different type of thing on the roll apart from the heather. You can get willow on the roll, you can use bamboo cane, various different organic looking rolls, which they also use for screen fencing. It is very good. We've used it in commercial applications and domestic. It's very versatile. I think it looks pretty good, and it's easy to fix and it's inexpensive. What more could you want? Of course, another option is awnings. I bought this online. It was about £30. It's waterproof and it's just got 4 corners, and you just tie it at each point of the pergola or structure, whatever. Obviously you can make them to measure, and they're pretty easy, but what you must realise is that when the wind gets up and it loads it, it has been known to pull sort of stones or bricks out of a house wall. There is quite a power behind it. So if it's windy, take it down or make sure it's really structurally safe. I love awnings because they just bounce light in and they just make it feel so summery. So it's a very simple idea and very easy and inexpensive. And we've also done it on top of wooden structures, on rounded metal arbours. Very flexible system and very good. There's something quite magical about the naked flame. It's just unsurpassable, I think. Of course, the downside is it can smoke. Firebowls are wonderful, but on a windy site, and if you don't get it right, you can be kippered. Chimneys have become really popular because they smoke less than a firebowl. I couldn't find one that I liked, so I went to my metalworker and we designed one, and he knocked it up for me in a couple of days. And I'm actually really pleased with it. And we've got the added facility that you can take off the back. So if I want to have it in the middle of a space and people seeing either side, I just can unscrew the back and then we can see flames from both sides. I like the fact that the wood stores below. If it gets really hot, I wonder if it would combust and I might have to move it. I don't know, but we'll see. And I like the fact that we put the copper on the top because I thought that was just a nice touch. The height of the chimney is quite important because you want the stove to actually draw up. We might have to experiment with that for a bit, but I think it should work. I've also made it not of the heaviest metal. It is indeed heavier than some of the ones you buy from the internet, which quite frankly are not a lot more than tin foil. And if you read the reviews, they've been buckling like mad. But this one is heavy enough that it's stable and quite strong, but it's portable. I can just about move it, and with another person, it's easy. So we can move it around, and so when the wind's coming from one direction, we can put it somewhere else. And I think that's quite an important point. And there are so many different designs, but they are increasingly popular for a very good reason. They're a very lovely, reliable source of the naked flame. This is my favourite source of outdoor heat. It really does pump out the atmosphere. It's a cat-eye fireball made of metal, and you can get modern ones, antique ones or whatever. The thing is, they can smoke when it's a bit windy, and so you need to know a few things about lighting them, and that is all important. I used to just bung on loads of wood, a couple of firelighters, light a match as the people arrived, and bang, it usually smoked. You need to light them about half an hour before people come, at least. And you need to start off with just a few bits. I've just got 4 tiny bits of kindling in here and a firelighter. And that's all you do to start with. You want lots of orange flame. It's when you get big amounts of timber on that you get lots of smoke. So I just started off with that, get the flame going, and then slowly add more bits of kindling. Don't be impatient. And when it's sort of getting there, then you can start putting on bigger bits of wood. Now these bits of wood should be dried, air dried. If you've got a high moisture content in the wood, it's gonna smoke. You can get charcoal, which is quite good to start it with as well, and bits of this dried wood, and slowly add them. If it does start to smoke, you can always use these blow pokers, which just literally, as you know, like a bellows, you just blow down and they make the orange flame starts. And the orange flames tend not to smoke. It's when you don't get the orange flame that you get a lot of smoke. So you just carry on slowly, not impatiently, while you're laying out the table or whatever you're doing, just slowly add on little bits. And then hopefully by the time the first guests arrive, you've got a bit of heart in there and you've got a nice, gentle fire. For the ultimate in outdoor heating and cooking, one client built this magnificent outdoor stone fireplace. And for another client, we are creating a garden and covered outdoor space by her spa, although the all-important chimney is not yet installed. At our Christmas party last year, we built an amazing fire pit oven, which provided endless warmth, food and a fantastic atmosphere. Yes, it destroys a bit of the lawn, but it soon goes back. There's nothing like a bit of gold bling at a party, especially at Christmas. And what I love about gold leaf is it's real gold, but bashed out so it's paper thin. More expensive than a gold spray paint, but the advantage is even outside it stays gold and shiny forever, whereas gold spray paint will always fade and become dull. Very easy to do, especially when you get this transfer type. And when you look at it, you see it really is the real gold, 22 carat, look at that. So this I get online from Cornelison's, who are a lovely art store. Now sometimes you see gold leaf and it's really perfect, it's solid gold, but I quite like it when you have the bits coming through, so it looks a bit weathered, and I think that's really nice. So I just paint on the sides, and we've done this on railings, on finials, on crests outside in the garden, all sorts of embellishments, just for a bit of fun, or like we're doing now for a party. So then you just put it onto the bit that you're doing and you slightly burnish it so it comes off. You can see when it's come through. This is actually quite a difficult surface to do because it's not very smooth. The smoother the surface, the more even it is. And you just pull it away gently. And there you have a lovely gold leaf. So it is quite expensive. It is, after all, 22 carat gold. But if you want to give someone a Christmas present, a book of this and a bottle of size for someone who likes doing this sort of thing, you could just do a rim round a vase, or on terracotta pots you could just do a boss or something like that. It can be spectacular and it's great fun to do. Today I'm hosting a great British garden party for the UK's National Garden Scheme. But whatever the occasion and whatever the weather, we make use of the garden all year round.